Welcome back to this new inspirational video. Today I wanted to go over a quote by Emmet Fox, and it said the following: "The art of life is to live in the present moment, and to make that moment as perfect as we can by the realization that we are the instruments and expression of God Himself." What a marvelous thing to say, and what a huge promise it contains for salvation, if we truly understand it. We shouldn't forget that understanding develops through studying something over and over again and contemplating it for ourselves, and what it really means. Today I wanted to share with you what this quote means to me. First, let us go to the very first part of this quote. The art of life is to live in the present moment. That concept of living in the present moment is both incredible and one of the hardest things to do at first. Living in the present moment and being able to keep your mind focused on where you are right now is one of the most powerful ways to get things done. Sadly, for most people, their minds are constantly wandering all over the place. They may be thinking of some past event that they either liked or disliked. They may be thinking of some future goal they hope to achieve, or they may be worried over something going on in their present circumstances. When we say to focus our minds on the present moment, we quite literally mean to become aware of this very moment itself. So even if bad or good things have happened to you, can you still focus your mind beyond all those things and recognize this very moment that you are in? Ask yourself, where am I right now? Look around you, observe the world, and know that most of your troubles really do exist within your own mind. Even if you were to be in a bad spot physically, it still doesn't mean the mind has to be in a bad place also. This is one of the huge elements of living in the present, the recognition that this is true, and if that dawns upon you, you should feel a certain weight of life lift straight off your shoulders. Where do you begin in order to learn living in the present moment? It comes about through meditation and self-reflection. If you can just but put some time into closing your eyes and becoming aware of simply being alive in this very moment and what that actually means, you will slowly but surely develop deeper insights concerning the oneness you have with what we call God. This connection exists within you and is felt most keenly within you. If God were able to touch you from the outside, you would be free to seek Him there. But we were warned not to seek outside of ourselves in order to find both God and the kingdom of heaven. We had to go within. Emmet went on to say we want to focus on making this moment that we are in right now as perfect as we can by the realization that we are the instruments and expression of God Himself. This is a very huge statement to make, and one which most people, even Christians, might not be able to accept. I've known about many Christians in my personal life where people truly find these teachings absurd, and they still rather believe in a God outside of themselves and the returning of a figure named Jesus Christ from the physical heavens. But with such a perception, we can't feel any other way than disempowered, though surely some might find strength in the idea of being saved from the horrors of this world by someone else. Instead of waiting for some savior to come in the near future, let us make this present moment perfect by understanding that we are the instruments and expression of God. This means that you are the instrument and expression of God in your own unique way. If that is so, then the Savior of your world rises from within and comes from the heavens that exist within you. Just lift up your consciousness to heaven, and heaven in return embraces you. If we are going to make this moment perfect, we shouldn't have to worry so much about what perfection means in the eyes of others. For example, ending up in a trap where you are forever seeking out numerous so-called teachers, or just one teacher in particular in the hopes that he or she will give you the answer you seek, can keep you on a never-ending journey of illusions. Ultimately, life is what we make of it, and the more we are connected to the divine principle of unity within our hearts, will we be able to express perfect expression in our way. God is actually a perfect expression for you. The reason for this is because of you being the perfect instrument to express that very thing He wants you to do. We are simply hinting at what you are most passionate about in life. Everyone has their deepest passions for what they can sense brought them to the planet. But again, sadly, most aren't even willing to look at what it is, mostly due to limiting ideas about who they are and what they are capable of doing. If you are the instrument of God, surely you are able to express your own dreams, and by doing so, perfection will become yours. A person that has dreams which are always inspired by God and who doesn't act on them isn't making the moment of their life perfect. But if you are allowing the ideas of God to flow with and through you, then you can't help but make the moments in your life more and more perfect, until such a stability has been established in this way of living that you can't help but make every moment perfect in your own beautiful way. This contemplating in this very moment your unity with God is another one of those perfect expressions you can be involved in. I suggest you take the time for that. It has never failed me personally. Whenever I close my eyes and totally relax, in the very depths of my mind I can find divine peace and calmness, a gentle embrace and a knowing that life will be okay. No matter the seeming struggles, it will be okay. Reaching that point within yourself will do you much good to overcome many of the stresses most people endure without realizing how to let go of them. All we really need is to confirm our unity with God consciously so that we can reap the benefits of such unity consciously as well. It is no longer a mystifying concept where we hope someday or one day God will bless us and perhaps reveal more of Himself to us. He will do that right this very second if you but open your mind towards Him first. It can't be any other way, for if God would force Himself into your life and make you obey, there isn't much of a loving Father left in this concept. And yet God is love and nothing but love, and the being of love has infinite patience and waits for you to return back in consciousness to the unity you had with all of creation. Your life truly becomes like art when you can recognize your unity with God in this present moment, for it will never lead you astray. It will guide you into the right activities, making your life more and more enjoyable, and you won't be able to deny something greater is active behind all physical phenomena. It is such a beautiful thing for us all to re-establish this unity for ourselves and find more peace and perfect expression in our own sphere of activities. If you have been feeling down and bad over things, do not be afraid. Your problems can be overcome by opening up your mind towards the mind of God. For the mind of God knows the solution to all problems and is accessible to you. This you must never forget, and it will always happen in the present moment, for this is the only time you really have. Yes, this very moment indeed. So let's make good use of it in our own wonderful ways. Again, this quote that we started with. The art of life is to live in the present moment and to make that moment as perfect as we can by the realization that we are the instruments and expression of God Himself. Should cause you to think so differently and in such a greater way about yourself, it could transform your whole life right this second if you've never considered this. I know some of you will consider it for the first time, and others of you have already considered this for a long time and perhaps have revealed themselves the truth behind these statements to themselves. But here's the thing, I think there's a lot of beauty in sharing that truth with the world and helping more and more people become aware of these powerful ideas so that they can discover this unity for themselves, because as long as most of humanity has lost unity with God, well, it would explain why there's so much conflict going on to begin with. But once unity is established for humanity with the spirit of all creation, also known as God, then beautiful things could happen for all of creation as well. Sadly, perhaps that is a little too novel for now to contemplate that the whole world would do that all at once, meaning all of humanity at once. But at least we can all do this individually, because ultimately we are in a way the God of our own world, the God of our own circumstances. And through this unity we at least re-establish that awareness so we can make the most of ourselves and do some great things for everyone and ourselves and for God. Now, if you've stumbled upon this video and you would like to see more Emmet Fox content, be sure to check out the playlist provided in the description box below. If you're new to this channel, consider subscribing to receive inspirational videos on a regular basis. And with that being said, dear viewer, never forget that we are the dreamers.